शुरू हो जाए। Dear student, today I am going to read chapter 5, Quality. I knew him from the days of my extreme youth because he made my father's boots. He lived with his elder brother in his shop, which was in a small by street in a fashionable part of London. The shop had a certain quiet distinction. There was no sign upon it other than the name of Zesler Brothers, and in the window a few pairs of boots. He made only what was ordered, and what he made never failed to fit. To make boots, such boots as he made, seemed to me then, and still seems to me, mysterious and wonderful. I remember well my shy remarks one day while stretching out of him my youthful foot. Isn't it awful hard to do, Mr. Gisler? And his answer, given with a sudden smile from out of the redness of his word, it is an odd. It was not possible to go to him very often. His boots lasted terribly, having something beyond the temporary some essence of boot stitched into them. One went in not as into most soft but restfully as one enters a chair and sitting on the single wooden chair waited. A guttural sound and the tip tap of his slippers wetting the narrow wooden stairs, and he would stand before one without coat, a little went in leather apron with sleeves turned back, blinking as if awakened from some dream of woods. And I would say, "How you do, Mr. Gisler? Could you make me a pair of Russian leather boots?" Without a word, he would leave me, returning whence he came or into the other portion of shop, and I would continue to rest in the wooden chair and halting the incense of his trade. Soon he would come back, holding in his hand a piece of gold brown leather with eyes fixed on it. He would remark, "What a beautiful piece!" When I too had admired it, he would speak again, "When do you want them?" And I would answer, "Oh, as soon as you conveniently can." And he would say, "Tomorrow fortnight," or if he were his elder brother, "I will ask my brother." Then I would murmur, "Thank you, good morning, Mr. Gisler." "Good morning," he would reply, still looking at the leather in his hand, and as I moved to the door, I would hear the tip tap of his slippers going up the stairs to his dream of woods. I cannot forget that day on which I had a occasion to say to him, Mr. Jesler, that last pair of boots creaked, you know. He looked at me for a time without replying, as if expecting me to withdraw or qualify the statement, then said, I had Sudan if Greeked it did, I am afraid. You got them wet before they found themselves. I don't think so. At that he lowered his eyes as if hunting for memory of those words, and I felt sorry I had mentioned this grave thing. Then them back, he said, I will look at them. Zoom boots, he continued slowly, are bad from what if I can do nothing with them, I take them off your well. Once I went absent mindedly into his shop in a pair of boots bought in an emergency at some large firm. He took my order without sloping me any leather, and I could feel his eyes penetrating the inferior covering of my foot. At last he said, those one not my boots. The tone was not one of anger, nor of sorrow, nor even of contempt, but there was in it something quiet and froze the blood. He put his hand down and pressed a finger on the place where the left boot was not quite comfortable. It hurts out there, he said, those big worms over no self respect, and then, as if something had given way within him, he spoke long and bitterly. It was only time I ever heard him discuss the conditions and hardship of his trade. They get it all, he said. They get it by advertisement, not by art. They take it away from us who love our foods at games to this. Presently, I have no work. Every year it gets less, you will see. And looking at his lined face, I saw things I had never noticed before, bitter things and bitter struggle, and what a lot of grey hairs there seemed suddenly in his red beard. At best I explained the circumstances of those all almond boots, but his face and voice made so deep an impression that during the next few minutes I ordered many pairs. They lasted longer than ever, and I was not able to go to him for nearly 2 years. It was many months before my next visit to his shop. This time it appeared to be his elder brother handling a piece of leather. Well, Mr. Jesler, I said, how are you? He came close and peered at me. I am very well, he said slowly, but my elder brother is dead. And I saw that it was indeed himself, but how is it? And one, and never before had I heard him mention his brother. Much shocked, I murmured, oh, I am sorry. Yes, he answered, he was a good man. He made a good wood, but he is dead. And he touched the top of his head, where the hair had suddenly gone as thin as it had been on that of his poor brother, to indicate, I suppose, the cause of his death. Do you want any votes? And he had up the leather in his hand. It is a beautiful piece. I ordered several pairs. It was very long before they came, but they were better than ever. One simply could not bear them out, and soon after that I went abroad. It was over a year before I was again in London, and the first shop I went to was my old friend's. I had left a man of 60. I came back to one of 75, pinched and mournful. Jane Shitley this time did not at first know me. Do you want any boats? She said. I can make them quickly. It is a black dime. I answered, please, please. I want boots all around, every kind. I had given some boots up when one evening they came. One by one, I tied them on in shape and fit in finish and quality of leather. They were the best of he had ever made. I flew downstairs, wrote a check, and posted it at once with my own hand. A week later, passing the little street, I thought I would go in and tell him how splendidly the new woods lifted. When I came to where his shop had been, his name was gone. I went in very much disturbed. In the shop there was a young man with an English face. Mr. Riesler in? I said. No, sir. He said. No, but we can attend anything with pleasure. We have taken the shop over. As I said. But Mr. Riesler, oh, he answered dead, but I only received these boots from his last Wednesday week. Oh, he said, poor old man, starved himself, slow starvation. The doctor called it. You see, he went to work in such a way would keep the shop on. People won't wait. He lost everybody, and there he had shit going on and on. I will see that for him. Not a man in London made a better food. But look at the competition. He never advertised would have the best leather too, and do it all himself. Well, there is it. What would you expect with his ideas? But starvation, that may be bit flowery, as the saying is, but I know myself he was sitting over his boots day and night to the very last. You see, I used to. क्लोज बंद कैसे? हाँ, बंद कैसे?
नीचे से जाइए।
हो गया?
हाँ, वही दाबिए, वही
सर्च कैंसिल
वही नीचे वाला दाबिए, आ जाएगा। चाहे ये दबा दीजिए ना।
अब इसको चेक किया जाए आया कि नहीं है। कहाँ से चेक करना होगा सर इसको?
तो आपका मोबाइल में कैसे जा रहे हैं?
क्लिक टू
रिकॉर्ड किए हैं। तो रिकॉर्ड वाले में जाइए।
डू यू वांट टू क्लोज द ऐप? यस। अब बंद कर दीजिए। एक्स रिकॉर्डर में जाएं।
कवर लगा दीजिए।
चलते हैं, अच्छा केसेस चेक कराते हैं सर।
इसके पहले नहीं बनाए थे क्या?
नहीं, आज ये वाला वीडियो इस टाइप का बहुत दिन के बाद बना। अरे जरा थोड़ा देखिए, अभी हम एक्स रिकॉर्डर में कुछ रिकॉर्ड किए, रिकॉर्ड हुआ कि नहीं?
क्या देती है?
एक मिनट,
Communication is only about
चेक कीजिए, थोड़ा सा वीडियो भेजना है पूरा।
False.
रिकॉर्ड हुआ है कि नहीं सर? कैसे
हाँ?
पता चला? एक्स रिकॉर्डर में
सर प्रकाश भी डेली आ रहा है क्या जी? अच्छा।
दे तो नहीं रहा गुरुजी कुछ।